This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, starting verse 2, and it reads, "And I will stand upon my watch, and set me upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved." Verse 2, "And the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua answered me and said, Write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that read of it. For the vision is yet for appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." I'm going to start off by giving all praises, all honor, and all glory to Kol Elohim, La Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rachak. I'm going to say double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwak, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willing, this is the edifying lesson. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners that are abroad and the land of other nations, appearing like the other nations, but subscribing to the truth. To you, I say Shalom. It's the brother Yahweh South out of the GMS Cleveland Church, a fellow servant, coming at you with another lesson through the Spirit, through the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So I came across this article like a day or two ago. Spirit had, I meant to, through the Spirit, bring it out, but didn't get an opportunity to. Now I'm trying to, because it's in regards to prophecy. Prophecy says that the jobs will be few, the grinders shall cease. But matter of fact, let me get that, because I already had it on deck. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, and verse 1. I'm going to begin at verse 1, and it reads, Remember now thy creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. Say, remember thy creator in the days of thy youth. The Lord doesn't want you when you all, used up. That's like a woman. A woman doesn't want a man when he all used up. Let me take that back, because women tend to like flock to and are attracted by older men. But anybody doesn't want something that's been used out. Only in America, used up and used out. Only in America does a woman that's got bodies on them is put on a pedestal upside down, and then a woman that's actually a virgin, she's treated, like shunned upon. But then a woman that then a fat chick that's basically fucking, she'll get more attention than a beautiful woman that actually is a virgin, just because of how backwards this place is. The Lord doesn't want you to come at the, late in life. He wants you to, come when you still yielding your strength That's why I say, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened. Don't come to the Lord when you in trouble. Just like you praise the Lord when you when it's good and bad. That's in the book of Job. You say, should we only expect good and not evil from the Lord? Everything is a balance. Not to digress, but like with David was given the kingdom by the Lord, but he was also given obstacles and trials and tribulations as well. Some he brought upon himself, some were tests, like when David numbered Israel, But verse 3, in the days when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. And those grinders are going into those jobs. If you go into the blue letter, I know it says employment. I don't know the Hebrew word that's there. I'm not going to get it, but those grinders represent those jobs. And, it's prophetic, because in the last days, it's going to be evil times, meaning Eve, meaning time, ill, meaning bad, because it's going to be a lack of jobs. Verse 4, and the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and the daughters of music shall be brought low. So, like I said, you got multiple, like the IMF, Bank of America. Bank of America basically, it's an article, and Bank of America says when the jobs starting to basically be eliminated, it's going to be hundreds of thousands of jobs each month. And, right now it's amazing, because it is a lot of jobs hiring, but that's that last ditch effort. You know what I'm saying? You got people that still haven't bounced back from the P. the P Diddy. We gonna say it like that, the P Diddy. You know what I mean? And you know, like with these major retailers like Walmart and Target and whatnot, basically they've canceled a lot of their inventory because of the fact, people aren't spending the money like they was, especially you got a lot of people shopping online. They're not shopping in the stores. So this is gonna be a horrendous holiday season, and you about to see, you know, the Lord about to, like the elder so rightly claimed, well, Salakia so rightly named this year the year to turn up. So I'm gonna bring out a little bit of this article. It reads: the U.S. economy will soon start losing 175,000 jobs a month, Bank of America warns. It's a day old. Matt Egan, CNN. The Federal Reserve's fight to squash inflation will cause the U.S. economy to start losing tens of thousands of jobs a month beginning early next year, Bank of America warns. And I can see it being like that. I did a video about this prior, and like I said, it depends on what industry you is, but everything is going to be affected by that. And with the lack of jobs, that means the crime is going to go up. So just keep all that in mind, and that's why you probably got, they talking about the beginning of the year, next year in Chicago. You got what they talking about, like the purge. Well, it ain't like the purge, it's the purge. You know what I mean? If you're not gonna be arrested for certain crimes that actually are, crimes that, they talking about, I think, kidnapping and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like, and that's going to affect other cities as well. Although the jobs market remains surprisingly strong in September, the Fed is working hard to change that by aggressively raising interest rates to ease demand for everything from cars and homes to appliances. The pace of job growth is expected to be roughly cut in half during the fourth quarter of this year, Bank of America told clients in a report Friday. As pressure from the Fed's war on inflation builds, non-farm payrolls will begin shrinking early next year, translating to a loss of about 175,000 jobs a month during the first quarter, the bank said. Charts published by Bank of America suggest job losses will continue through much of 2023. The premise is a harder landing rather than a softer one. That popped in my head because the brother Bakwar Moth from Men of Valor always regarded to how the Fed sit up there and said it's going to be a soft landing. Now it's going to be a hard one. Huh? So that's why you shouldn't. The scripture says never trust thine enemy. You got to remember who these people are. Not were, are. How they got this country. When you go into the different treaties they made with the Northern Kingdom, the tribes of Gad and Reuben, they broke every promise. They never adhered and kept to their. So why would you trust this fucking devil? Even Gad had a saying to talk about he is slippery tongued devil, or he speaks with a forked tongue. And then the scriptures talk about how his words are smoother than butter in Psalms 55. It says, in a perfect world, the Fed would slow the jobs market enough to get inflation back to healthy levels, but not so much that it causes significant and persistent job losses. Bank of America doesn't think the Fed will be able to pull that off. We are looking for a recession to begin in the first half of the next year. Ooh, that's going to be ugly. On top of, the increase in these energy bills. Last Friday's job report showed that although the jobs market is slowing down, the United States added a stronger than expected 263,000 jobs in September. And it could be truth to that because normally, you can't trust these numbers, especially how they basically calculate unemployment and whatnot, because they, people that stop looking, in the job market, they're not even counted. That was exposed a couple years ago. But I've been checking for on a search for a better job, and this place is hiring. But again, depends on your industry. If you got something that's could be considered like, I was talking to a guy at this one job, and basically they deal with all the alcohol in pretty much the state of Ohio. So any place that sells alcohol, from a bar to a gas station to a corner store, they basically just they distribute to all these different places. So that's kind of recession proof, because at hard times people drink more. So but a person that's I don't know, Ubering or or retail, those jobs aren't in such demand because if people aren't really spending money, or they're only spending money on essentials, how secure is your job? The U.S. Central Bank is raising interest rates at the fastest pace in at least 4 decades in a bid to cool inflation. And I forgot how many points. I think they said they've been raising it like 75 points each time, and this is like the fourth time they did it, and they're talking about doing it again. The U.S. Central Bank is raising interest rates. I read that part. Fed officials have made clear they are in no rush to shift out of inflation fighting mode to save the economy from a slowdown or even a recession. They'll accept some weakness in labor markets in order to bring inflation down, which ain't gonna really do nothing. It's just gonna, because at the end of the day, if people lose their jobs, that's less money being spent in the economy anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, like the brother Bakar Maf always brings out, why did y'all let it get this bad? Why did y'all check this? You know what I mean? So, I'm not gonna read this whole article. So, at the end of the day, it says Bank of America expects the unemployment rate will top out at 5.5 next year, well below the peak of nearly 15% in April 2020. So it was 15% of unemployment. Although nobody wants to be callous about someone losing their job, Gapin said this could be classified as a mild recession. And we shall see. I mean, you talking about 175,000 jobs. And then, like I said, I did a video recently about that. You basically, out of 400 Fortune 500 companies, like they said, like 91% of these companies is talking about preparing for layoffs, and the best way, or the first way, or the main way they're trying to basically deal with the higher interest rates and whatnot is to lay people off. So again, I think that's like damn near 350 something of the companies out of 400. So that's prophecy speaking, because it says in the last days, So I'm going to the book of Isaiah, chapter 19, and it reads, Isaiah 19 and 14, the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err, and every work thereof as a drunken man staggereth in his vomit. Verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or the tail, branch or rush may do. In that day shall Egypt be like unto women, and it shall be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua of hosts, which he shaketh over it. And these people ain't completely frightened yet, but they will be, when you don't even want to go outside because of the crime being just rampant. Again, like I said, right now, because people are in their wine or they still focused on folly, they not seeing it. But like, wait till you hear about, the murder rates of like places like Chicago that already have high murder rates on these pagan ass holidays. Wait till when, when the economy all fucked up and just, everything is just chaotic and out of control. Back in the this is 2 Timothy chapter 3 verse 3 verse 1. This know also that in the last days perilous time shall come, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And you can see that all day. That's why you got people that are more engulfed in the folly of the world than what's actually, like, if people were actually into the scriptures, they would recognize and realize the time that we're in. Scriptures talk about it's better to be in the house of mourning than in the house of mirth. And the point of bringing that out is because with these bad times, people are going to get more cold. Scriptures talk about that in the book of Matthew chapter 24, because wickedness, because iniquity, meaning sin upon sin, has abounded, meaning increased. The love of many shall wax cold. People, we take it from little kids and these single women. I mean, you could just literally, like I said, if you got any kind of spirituality about you, you'll see that, yeah, this is going to be um, deep. Bear with me for a second. Salakia. So back into the article. I am going back in the article. I'm going to go back into Habakkuk chapter 2. And it all goes into this money. Because when you continue to read Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 3, it reads, for the vision is yet for a point in time, meaning the prophecies. The prophecies talk about how the jobs will cease. It says, for the vision is yet for a point in time, but at the end it shall speak, meaning it's going to be evident. You know, the vision, the prophecy going to speak itself. You know, we ain't going to have to really constantly bring this out like we constantly are doing, because it's going to be self-explanatory. You're going to see it for these people going to see it for themselves. But at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, because it's not moving as fast, or people up there, oh, well, I thought y'all say it's going to be a famine. You know what I mean? But if you seeing what's going on, or if you were actually like being studious with anything, you'll see, like people don't even realize how bad, this whole situation in Ukraine and Russia has actually affected the supply chain with the food. They stopped producing food, and then they had to sign an agreement to produce more food, and they saying that still ain't really rectified the situation. You got all these food production plants that actually mysteriously burnt up. So, again, because people are sottish, especially 2/3 of our people, they not paying attention to it, but they gonna pay attention to it when you can't get no fucking food. That's what it's gonna be playing upon tables. Not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Scriptures in the book of Isaiah chapter 42, it says the Lord, the former things he to declare, roughly paraphrased. You know what I mean? This is spoken of, and it's going to take place. Matter of fact, let me get that, because it sounds like I butchered it. Isaiah chapter 42. I wasn't supposed to make this that long. Lakia. There's a lot going on too. It's Isaiah 42, verse 9. And it reads, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare before they spring forth. I tell you of them. So the Most High is using the prophets as mouthpieces to declare these things. It tells you that in the book of Luke chapter 1. Since matter of fact, let me get it bouncing around now, Salakia. Luke 1:7, as I spake through the mouths of my holy prophets. And anything that you say beforehand, that's to prophesy. Pro meaning before, phasai is to say. This is Luke 1:70, and it reads, as he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. So the Most High Yahweh Shem Yahushua has always used specific souls on the earth to declare to the people of the earth, from his holy children to the other nations, of the things to come and the judgments to come. So back in Habakkuk chapter 2, it reads, verse 4, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. And that's going into Esau's soul, which is not upright, because it talks about in the scriptures who could make a crooked thing straight. If the Lord created something to be crooked, then that means it's meant to be crooked. Verse 5, yea, also because he transgressed by wine, meaning his philosophies, he's a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desires hell. His carnality is insatiable. Made me think of Alexander the Great when he had conquered all that land and began to cry because his warriors didn't want to fight anymore, and he still was thirsting to conquer. Just bloodthirsty fucking devils. They can never have enough. They can never be slated, and cannot be satisfied, but gathered unto him all nations and heap unto him all people. And that's what he's trying to do now with his whole hip. That's what he want. He want to be like the Most High. When you go into what's that? Isaiah chapter 14, he exalted himself as the Most High. So he says, I want to be as the Most High, but thou art a man and not the Most High. I think that's Ezekiel chapter 28, roughly paraphrased. Verse 6, shall not all these take up a parable against him? Salakia, shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him and say, woe to him that increaseth that which is not his, how long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. Now, I can't find the Hebrew word, but when you go into that word clay, it's a Hebrew word, and it basically breaks down to debt. And this is a debt-based monetary system. The U.S. dollar is not. It's more of a debt note. And that's why we're really seeing this inflation. You know what I mean? Now, the way that it was set up is like a big ass Ponzi scheme. So because the world reserve currency, which is the American dollar, literally is the world's reserve currency, the dollar is some kind of way still strong. But eventually, that's why you got countries like Russia and China and these different countries making these pacts and basically trying to get up out of the dollar, which they will. That's why, like I say, literally, this is going to take place if you want it or yes. And we ask for this thing to come to pass because we know the Lord going to keep his elect. The sooner this takes place, the sooner Yahushua Mashiach, our big brother, these people ignorantly call Jesus Christ, will come back to redeem and save us. So if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, Native American, Seminole Indian, West Indian, or Haitian, I implore you to come back to the laws, statutes, and commandments of your power, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, or you will be destroyed. And with that, I want to give all praises, all honor, and all glory to call Loyam like Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua, Ba'ashim Rachakadas B'Katham. Double honors to my apostles, the elders of Great Millstone who teach and do rule well. Peace and salutations to the Akim across the four corners of the earth, pushing this truth with faith and with sincerity, as well as risking their lives and their freedom to do so, now more so than ever. Shalom to the Akwab, as well as the Akim out there listening and learning. Lord willingly, this is edifying. Shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad in the land that other nations appearing like the other nations and whom subscribe to this truth. To you I say shalom. So I'm able to come with another lesson. I want to say shalom, shalom, and Mawaf Lababal. Shalom.